Hello, everyone. How are you today?
We hope you're fine. My name's Missy Carvin.
I'm Beth Slazak, and we'd like to welcome you to the Creative Education Foundation's webinar series, Creativity Connections. Today, we're looking at inviting your kids into a creative process. The purpose of this webinar series is to use some creative solutions to empower each of us. These are new times that call for our new and different ways of doing things. We want to help you use deliberate creativity to connect in new ways with your family. So we want to start with a question. If you put your screen in full screen mode, a control panel should show up on your right. If you'd like to participate, there's a question tab where you can type in your responses and we can respond to them. Today's question is, what might be all of the new ways that you're connecting with your children? My children are adult children that are not at home anymore, so our connections are entirely with FaceTime and Amazon Prime. I'm sending them treats from their mom.
My kids and I are just spending so much time together because we're all in the house. I live in Florida, and we just got our stay-at-home order effective tomorrow. So we'll be spending even more time in the house if that's possible.
So
Excuse
what
me.
it's like to parent right now. You're pulled in a million directions, trying to do new things that you've never done before, maybe, learning new software and technology, keeping kids occupied in new ways and for longer periods of time, balancing kid needs with parent work needs, with personal needs, trying to establish new routines, making do with not enough technology, laptops, iPads, devices for each kid, which are compatible with the programs that they need, etc. Dealing with boredom, both kids and adults, messed up sleep schedules, and no relief from being in the house. But also more family time, more meals together, more relaxed schedules, more time for ice cream.
Amen to the ice cream. And full disclosure, I train people how to do this. It is literally my job. And I know I feel like I'm not doing a great job at any of it with my kids at home. I've been more mindful of using creative techniques in the last week as we started scripting this webinar than I had for the couple weeks before that. So these are stressful times, and feel free to give yourself some grace. It's okay not to do everything perfectly all the time. So here are a few activities to try with your kids. Um, for building creative problem solving skills rather, try phrasing challenges as questions. This is an area where I have been able to be sort of successful. Uh, we're going to focus on two creative problem solving questions. What might be all the ways, and how might you? So a key example, when your kids walk up and say, I'm bored, you can respond. You can either tell them what to go do. Here's a list of things, which they will react to probably as well as my children do, which is to say they won't, and then just whine that they're bored some more. Or you can help them learn to turn it into a question. So, what might be all the ways that you could be entertained? How might you find new uses for the stuff in the recycling bin? Another example, they might say, I don't know how to run the vacuum. So, how might you learn? Or what might be all the ways to get the floor clean that don't involve the vacuum? And parents everywhere are hearing the constant cry of, I'm hungry. So, you can respond with, what might be all the things you could eat right now? Or how might you find a healthy snack? It's important to get kids to think creatively and to stretch their creative muscles. When they are part of solution finding, they have greater buy in to put that solution into practice. The same way that letting a kid set up her own daily schedule instead of imposing one will increase the likelihood that she follows it. It also helps them learn about criteria. Go find a healthy snack, get the floor clean, etc. Allow your children to help in decision making so that you're preparing them to be useful adults. Change the focus from a problem, I'm bored, I'm hungry, I don't know how, to a challenging question, and set up for action rather than endless circling as well as endless coming back to mom or dad.
Another creative practice you can try is applied improv. You may be familiar with Whose Line Is It Anyway or Second City. Those are performance improv theaters What we're going to give you are some games that you can play that you can use to understand how you behave. So we're going to teach you a short game called What Are You Doing? We're going to start with, we often start with initials. You can use license plates for cars that drive by or other different places. So we'll start with initials, and I'm going to pick on Missy because she's right here. So we've got the initials MC, and I'm going to ask Missy to start the game by asking me a question.
Hey, Beth, what are you doing?
I'm going to answer her. My words are going to start with the letter M and the letter C from the initials. So I'm making chocolate. Hey, Missy, what are you doing?
I'm mailing cards. Hey, Beth, what are you doing?
I'm mentally checking off my list. Hey, Missy, what are you doing?
I'm mindfully cinching my waist. Hey, Beth, what are you doing?
I'm missing Charzander, my favorite Pokemon. So you can see it goes back and forth pretty much until you're desperate. You can play it on different levels. We were just doing back and forth. It's a great game. I've played it with my children around the campfire or in a car. You can add another level to it by actually making them do the actions, like I'm making chocolate, I'm missing things. You can just act that out. You can also take it up even a notch further and use this for spelling words or concepts that you want them to be able to understand the letters. So Missy, I'm going to ask you for a spelling word because you have a student in your house who has spelling and sight words.
Yes, today he was working on bones.
Bones. Bones. Bones. Missy, I'll start with, what are you doing?
I am building one new environmental simulation. Hey, Beth, what are you doing?
I'm baking orange Nestle elephant snickerdoodles.
I want one of those.
Do you? Do you? So you can see the longer it goes, the harder it can be, but that can also be funny. I was telling Missy before, April 1st is the start of National Humor Month, and now is a time that we need to use humor. So why would you do this kind of activity? It's active. You can use it to get people moving. You can build practice seeing other uses in concepts, so that increases their fluency and their flexibility of thought. It practices spelling words. You can learn to look differently at things now than you have before. Plus, it's fun and it gets everybody laughing.
And remind me when we get to the end, Beth, there's a great question in the questions that I want to answer, but we're going to do this one more activity first. Many people do think of art when they think of creativity and then immediately feel intimidated or think that they're not creative because they're not objectively great artists. We're going to do a quick, fun little activity. You can do this with anybody old enough to hold a pen. It's called Paper Bag Picasso. And it's a simple, fun activity that lets you tap into your inner artist with no pressure on the results. What you need is a marker, a piece of blank paper, and a paper bag. So we were all set. You're going to take your paper and you're going to stick it inside your paper bag. You can also do this with just a bigger piece of paper that covers up your blank paper because the whole goal is that you can't see what you're drawing. And you're going to take about 30 seconds, look at your partner, you're going to draw your partner, and they're going to draw you. And remember, you can't see what you're doing. So although you probably can't see that Beth and I do have our hands inside paper bags, I promise you, Scouts Honor, we do. So we're going to take about 30 seconds. I'm going to draw Beth. I'm going to start now. And she's going to draw me. And then at the end, we will reveal these amazing artworks that we've created.
Fine. I am
What was
pretty
that?
sure you're going to be so impressed. I'm pretty sure I've nailed this.
Oh, I know. This is a complete likeness. I'm done with mine. Are you done with
I
yours?
am done with mine.
Okay. Go ahead, show me yours. Oh, it's me.
Right?
That's
It's uncanny.
perfect. Here you go. And just, business Beth.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, lest ye be intimidated, the goal is not to make them good. The goal is to have a minute where you connect with somebody. Because when you're looking at them and studying them, that's a moment of connection. Um, so why would you use this when everybody's bored, when you're looking for an easy, fun activity, when you need a laugh? We're going to take pictures and post ours on the CEF Facebook page. We would love if you do this activity, if you do the same, and just hashtag it with Paper Bag Picasso and Creativity Connections. And just, in case you didn't know, this beautiful line doodle camel that you can see on screen, that's actually a Picasso. So it doesn't have to be good, and it doesn't take a lot of lines to make something recognizable. One question that we had from our chat, um, other than Karen, who's giving us deep flattery, we love that, is how might we address younger kids, like those who are under 5 or aren't in school or as self-sufficient? And I would say that of all the things that we did today, you can do any of these with little kids. I have done all of these with little kids. Full disclosure, I have a 6-year-old and a 13-year-old. My 6-year-old is language delayed, and he's deaf, and he could 100% play What Are You Doing? Um, because, he's got cochlear implants, he's learning English. You can do it with one letter. Just what's your favorite letter? We're cooking, we're crying, we're canoeing. Um,
That's that's another one with their younger, to give them control. Like, they come up with the activity, and you can do it phonetically. Don't be very rigid on the C or the K, cat and kitten, cooking type things, but uh, they come up with the word and you have to do it. They love doing that control of the parent, and that will keep them occupied for as long as you're willing to do this.
and then the other thing is with phrasing challenges as questions, that really is something you can do from the beginning. Giving kids a locus of control and giving them the ability to think of an option. And it might not be the best option, but it's an option that we can then work on and make sure that it meets our criteria. So if the answer is, I can just leave the mess on the floor, we can say, okay, and here's why that's a safety issue. We need to worry about the dog eating the Lego pieces or whatever. So asking kids questions, that actually takes us right into our key takeaways. Um,
Um, there's another question that I wanted
Go
to
for it.
address. How might we adopt the improv to teenagers? These games I learned as an adult in an adult improv organization. So it for partners very well with teenagers. You might want to create some criteria around teenagers depending on your house rules of potty language. But then you can make the words longer, and it disintegrates into funnier activities. I have seen people give the word supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and they made somebody come up with something for each, and they're acting out each step of the way. Teenagers appreciate the ridiculousness, and they're usually fantastic at that.
They are. And we have one more question about dates for the creative problem solving um, conference. And Paula, I will get back to you offline on that because we do have some news on that. You can check the CEF Facebook page as well as the SIPSI website. There's information on those. So our key takeaways for this week, bring kids into solution making and change the locus of control back to I can do it by phrasing challenges as questions.
Find new ways to play, stretch your thoughts and possibilities. Now is a time where rules have no meaning. So create your own.
And explore projects that don't require success, just participation. And honestly, everything we gave you today is completely free, both money and tech wise.
Finally, we would like to thank the entire Creative Education Foundation community, all of our colleagues, and everyone in the creativity world, and most especially you. We're grateful for you tuning into this and giving us your feedback. We love your thoughts and ideas, so please continue to keep that coming. And finally, keep
Keep
connecting
connecting
creatively.
creatively. Our next webinar is going to be Wednesday, April 8th, and we're probably going to be on a new platform. So keep an eye out for that. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your week.
Bye.